He hadn't moved an inch. "Quickly," the guard spoke for the first time since Leto's arrival. His voice was low, gravelly, and strangely flat. "It is almost time." The maid nodded and reached for another handful of flowers. The hairs on Leto's arms prickled. Under the smooth material of the ceremonial gown they had dressed her in, her heart quickened and fluttered like a trapped bird. Something heavy and unpleasant settled itself like a great pressure on her chest, squeezing her lungs, hitching her breath. Shuttered into this unfurnished room, it had been impossible to keep track of time. The sound of birdsong and the first rays of light streaming in through the tiny window had told Leto that the sun had risen, but beyond that, nothing. It might have still been early morning. Now, though, it is almost time. She knew exactly what it was almost time for. The sacrifices took place at noon, when the equinox sun had reached its peak in the sky. It was not dying she was afraid of, for she had long steeled herself against the idea of it, but what lay beyond. In her 17 years, she had led a decidedly unremarkable life. Some of the more superstitious townfolk still whispered of her mystical powers, it was true, but Leto had vanquished no monsters, thwarted no criminals, bested no cheats. She had only been kissed twice. The afterlife waiting for her would not be an unkind one, for there was little to recommend her to damnation, but she would certainly not find herself in the company of brave heroes like Perseus, Heracles, or Odysseus. She would not see her mother again. Apollo had not even deigned to grant her a vision of her own demise. The night before the guards had arrived to claim her, she had dreamed of a girl with golden hair and eyes like the sea. Her thoughts of greatness were vain and stupid, of course. Still, Leto had always hoped, in the way little girls do, listening open-mouthed to tales of heroic deeds, that she would one day be remembered as extraordinary. She could still feel the prickle of scales round her throat, the mark that had appeared mere days ago and brought it all to a lurching halt. The truth was plain to see. Poseidon had chosen her. There was no escaping it. No one would remember her now. For a moment, she wondered which of her neighbours had noticed the scales, had sold her to the royal guard. She didn't blame them. Her fate was already sealed, and at least the bounty would give them a few more silvers for bread. The knock came again, louder this time, as the maid forced in a final pin. "For God's sake," snapped the guard. "Are you finished?" "One last thing," said the maid. This time, when she reached into the basket, she pulled out a leather cord knotted roughly into a loop. From its centre there dangled a tiny silver coin. The shape was instantly familiar. An obol. "For Karen," said the maid solemnly. Leto had been expecting it, but still, the sight of the metal set her stomach rolling. The dead were customarily buried with money. This single obol would serve as payment to the ferryman to bear her soul across the Styx and the Acheron. Her dead soul. The maid carefully eased the necklace over Leto's braids. She felt it fall underneath the gown, to rest in the hollow between her breasts. She bit her lip. The metal was cold, startlingly so, where it lay under the folds of pale fabric. The guard scoffed as the maid straightened, fumbling with her basket of pins and battered petals. "Organise your things. I will escort you out." Perhaps he wasn't the superstitious type. He eyed the leather cord with disdain, and when he caught Leto watching him, flashed her a sly, mocking grin. Leto shuddered. As she did so, her eyes caught on a sudden reflection of sunlight. A reflection, she realized, that stemmed from the flat of a shining blade. Obscured from the guard's view by the yellow fabric of the maid's chiton was a pot of dressmaking pins and a